Welcome to the FortiSIEM UEBA overview. FortiSIEM UEBA provides visibility into endpoint and user activity. It's able to identify what files and processes are being accessed and allow you to be able to historically run through the event data that this generates for a threat hunting or simply an audit perspective, as well as being able to be alerted both in real time if something suspicious happens, as well as using the machine learning modules to alert on more anomalous activity that the user is performing. FortiSIEM's UEBA uses a lightweight Windows agent that captures 5 key metrics about the user, such as the user, the process, device, the resource, and the behavior, and then uploads this information directly into FortiSIEM over a secure and encrypted TLS connection. Some of the benefits that using an agent-based method of collecting this data provides is both on and off the network visibility. So if the user is on the network, corporate network, they may be actually physically present in an office, they may be connecting over VPN, or they may be connecting and sending this information directly over the internet. An agent-based approach provides this visibility about the user behavior. Without an agent base, we're going to be relying on event data that comes from maybe cloud services that are being accessed, or if they're off the network, or collecting information when they next log on to the actual network itself, maybe through a VPN. If the client is actually off the network for a period of time, then the agent also has the ability to cache data. And when they then connect back in, or there's connectivity to FortiSIEM, the agent can upload this information as well. The agent is lightweight and performs most of its analysis with under 1% CPU utilization. So it's barely noticeable by a user. The information that the agent collects is of higher fidelity as well. It's very simple to deploy. It's simply a checkbox to enable this collection of information. There's no detailed Windows auditing policy that needs to be enabled to collect this. And once it's collecting these 5 key telemetry pieces as well, which are much higher fidelity and ready to be understood by FortiSIEM's machine learning module as well. We're also able to monitor the movement of these resources, these files, between network shares or removable devices, such as people copying information to a removable device. And it's minimally invasive, so there is no screen captures, no key logging, no detailed web activity. So the performance is minimal and not designed to be too intrusive into a user's behavior. So the way this works within FortiSIEM is the agent collecting these 5 key pieces of telemetry information securely sends this information up to FortiSIEM. And once FortiSIEM receives this data, it still goes through the rules engine. So you're still able to alert on individual events that are occurring through the rules engine, but also that information is then fed into a user model within the AI engine within FortiSIEM. And that's really looking for those unknown threats, that anomalous behavior. So let's have a look and see how we build this together within FortiSIEM's interface. So we're logged into the FortiSIEM interface now, and we're on a couple of dashboards. One of these is the UEBA alerts dashboard, another one is the events dashboard. And this provides summary information which we could then drill down into more depth if we needed to. Now, AI alerts are rated based off of a confidence factor. So what this screen is showing us here are any workstations where we've got high confidence, what the confidence value is. We've seen 98 as in the confidence level for this particular workstation and alerts. We've also seen particular types of AI alerts with high confidence levels as well. We can also see things like the distinct users, a number of AI alerts, and also the actual file names, the files themselves where we've seen high confidence AI alerts as well. So this provides summary information about the different alerts that we're seeing and their confidence factors, something that we may want to then investigate further. We can see we've got 2 high confidence users. One is Jimmy Carter, the other one is Harry Truman as an example. The other view, though, is regarding the events. So AI alerts are what are generated based off of anomalies, based off of the data that FortiSIEM is receiving about those workstations. Whereas the events themselves are the actual behaviors, the interactions that the users are having with those workstations themselves. So that in this summary dashboard, we can see what users are generating the most amount of events, what file paths are being accessed most frequently, what file names are being accessed most as well, and also what type of events we're actually seeing. What are these UEBA, these user-related events we're seeing occurring? So this provides a number of views that we can see. Other ones are also regarding executable file interaction, which is a little bit more interesting because quite possibly we're not going to be reading certain files, we're probably executing these files instead. So some things like reading a particular executable might be something we need to investigate. So this is an overview of the UEBA alerts and events, the data that's coming in. But typically when you're looking at UEBA information, you're looking at it under an incident view. And under the incident view, we've got a number of different incident screens that we can use to investigate alerts. One of these is the UEBA screen itself. So this is giving us the AI alerts as well as any policy related alerts. Alerts that we believe, incidents, which are based off of rules that are associated to UEBA, will appear on this dashboard. So we can see here that we have a number of AI alerts for a particular host, 58 for workstation B. We can see Jimmy Carter has the highest number of alerts. And we can also see that the policy-based alerts have the highest number of incidents as well. We can quickly filter and say, let's have a look here just for the AI related alerts. And when I then start to drill down into more information, let's have a look at Jimmy in particular. I quickly filter here, and this dashboard dynamically links together the different resources and telemetry so that I can see that Jimmy has been involved with these applications. We've also seen Jimmy on a number of workstations, and the actual alerts themselves are unusual file writing, creation, and also reading of files. Now we tag the AI alerts with additional information, and the way we use the tags is to identify particular types of activity and influence the machine learning model. So if we have a look at an instance in particular, such as this universal USB installer, this is an unusual file creation. It's an anomaly that's been detected without the need of us needing to identify .exe as particular type of file, type of interest, or the type of interaction that the user's having with this particular directory structure as an example. This has been detected as unusual activity through the machine learning module, profiling this user's behavior. Now another way we can use UEBA information is through the risk view. So we start to build a risk profile of entities, users and devices over a period of time. And we'll also use the AI, the policy events, but also the typical incidents and rules that FortiSIEM has built in to also affect the risk score of both these devices and users. So as an example, we can see Joe has actually a high severity outbound permitted IPS exploit. And we can see here that Joe has a reasonably high risk score. So if we have a look at more information about this particular incident, we can see that we've got this high severity permitted IPS exploit, and it's also associated with this host here. So if we wanted to, we can drill down and have a look at the instant list view regarding this. And we could say, give me the quick information about this host. And we know that this is the orders ERP host, something that we might want to bear in mind later. Because another view that we also have beyond the risk view is the Explorer view, which we'll come on to. Let's just quickly take a look at Jimmy, which also has a high risk. And the reason why Jimmy has a high risk is because we've identified various policies, UEBA policies, as well as AI alerts, the unusual file reads, as well as a potential lever editing a CV document. So let's look at this Explorer view. So let's take a look at Joe in more depth. So now that we're looking at Joe, what we also see here that we've got some successful VPN logons, typical FortiSIEM correlation rules and incidents. We also see some file integrity monitoring activity, some new files and directories being created. But overwhelmingly, what we see at the top here are regarding AI alerts, policy breaches as well, removal media being used, and that's being detected through the high fidelity information that the UEBA agent is providing as well. And we can also see then, as we go down further, that we've got the brute force log on success. So this is really providing the combination of the machine learning AI module to be able to detect unusual activity using the fidelity of the information that's collected and being able to alert on that using the UEBA agent, as well as coupling that together with the traditional correlation events that FortiSIEM provides. So let's take a quick look now at the resources. So FortiSIEM has a number of UEBA reports out of the box, and these are going to be reporting on information that FortiSIEM has seen, such as the AI alerts, or we can actually be looking at individual activity, the high fidelity information from the agent about what behavior the user is performing. So if we wanted to understand any particular encryption tools that are being used, we can run any of these reports and be able to see what user was involved in this sort of activity. So here we can see the exec1 has been installing TrueCrypt as an example. And it's straightforward to use the FortiSIEM analytics to look for any UEBA related events, any of this high fidelity agent based telemetry information. Here we can see files creations, reads, new process being executed, including the resources that are being accessed. With any machine learning, the ability to feed back into the model to better tune the alerts is an important step as we start to train this. And one way you can achieve this is through something called UEBA tags. So this is where we can define different thresholds for different sorts of activity. Here, if we're seeing an application that matches one of these, we're going to increase the risk for the AI model itself. We can also define more global types of higher risk entities. So if we're defining file types or particular paths that need to be universal, or particular accounts, or even groups, we can also define that here. And finally, when you're coupling together the FortiSIEM UEBA, detecting anomalous activity, as well as the ability to define a rule and a policy to alert on activity occurring, you can also use the existing FortiSIEM rules and incidents to provide a clearer picture of what's happening on those workstations or by those users.